This is classified sensitive information. This week we're reviewing Private Infiltrator, a stealth game from Espionage Noir Productions.wordpress.com, or Espionage Noir Productions if you prefer the short version. It's a Unity game priced at $9.99, and your goal is to sneak through various spaces and accomplish the various tasks they have set out for you. We have 4 categories on our 4-chair metric, so let's bring up chair explanation.
Ooh.
So, we review everything on a 4-chair metric. 1 chair means it's shit, it's terrible, don't even look at it, don't stare at its general directions, just remove yourself from its general vicinity. 2 chairs means that it's acceptable, it's passable, it's not the greatest, but
maybe
it's not.
something you want to pick up.
Maybe.
Yep.
Depending on who you are, if the category that you get the 2 chairs in doesn't really bother you, then yeah, check it out. 3 chairs is definitely give it a look-see. May not be your thing, but the quality is there. And 4 chairs means shut up, take my monies. I want it bad. Stick it to me right now. Oh yeah, yeah.
Giggity.
And we have our 4 categories, which we use these chairs to rate things on. Of Doom, we have Matrix mixed with the working. Does it work? Does it run? How much effort does it take to get it working out of the box? Second category is shiny and sounds.
Wait a minute. If I might interject, I mean, we're 3 different people on 3 different
Yes, we are running technically 3 different distributions, but really it's 2 different distributions. We got Mint, Ubuntu, and Fedora. And some radically different sets of hardware. And, radically different people. We have our own opinions on what makes a good game. So, as I was saying, we got shiny and sounds. How does it look? How does it sound? Is it pretty? Does it sound pretty? Or is it butt ugly and you want to stick it back in the garage? How does it control? Is our 3rd category. And that's revolving around, controls. If you can't figure that out, then you're an idiot. Stop watching this show now. And finally, the last category of Doom is fun. Did we enjoy it? Would we recommend it? And so on and so forth. So then, did Private Infiltrator work for you?
Wow, that's getting kind of in my espionage, fantasy, but we're talking about mixed with the working. I think P-Man's really going to curb stomp him. I'm just going to say something about a zip file. And I had to nix him a chair for that. Even though it did run, but it did take a bit of working. You can't get 4 chairs for doing that, but P-Man will explain 3 chairs on that business.
Well, I'll give it 3 chairs too, just because of the same issue. Also, there's no download on Desura, as Pedro was going to say, but I stole that point from him. Which, Desura's a nice little way to get your games downloaded in a nice, convenient location.
He's still talking. Go ahead, Pedro.
Yeah. So, yeah, like Jordan said, if you bought this game on Indie Game Stand or any of the other distributions places they got, including Desura, there is no Linux version available for download through Desura. You have to, download it from the specific place where you bought it. And like Ven mentioned, it comes in a zip file. Quit your zipping. It screws up the permissions. You need
Tarballs.
Yeah, use a fucking tarball, man. Come on. So, yeah, that's me and 3 chairs.
So, we're going to have to brain that pretty hard for our mix with the working total. 3 chairs.
3 chairs?
3 chairs. Coming up next is Shiny and Sounds. So, Ven, were your eyes and ears dazzled by the
Unfortunately, I have my Miller High Life, but I don't have my pilot glasses or a handkerchief.
neckerchief?
Oh, God, that tastes awful. But Shiny and sounds. Well, it's a cocktail. This really is one of the few games. Now you see, you're like, oh, why aren't you playing the video?
There is no video.
There's no video.
Unless it's further down. Nope, there is no video.
You see this?
There are 4 lights.
Yeah, right. Jean-Luc. Oh, this is going to be awesome. I love the no aspect. I was like, all right. Let's make with it. And, you know, I'm looking at some of these apparently choice screenshots.
Oh, yes. That was so... Oh, I'll get to that in my section, but...
So at the end of the day, all right, it looked brilliant in Genesis, and that's what we do at Linux. We buy all the games, and we distribute them. It's like, all right, everybody try it out. Looks brilliant. At the end of the day, when you actually play this shiny, it looks like a 12-year-old's attempt at a project. Well, that's wrong. I shouldn't say that. Keep listening, developer. It looks like you had an awesome concept. But you didn't get funding, didn't bother with the funding, didn't mention a green light, Indiegogo, or anything like that. You're like, oh, this is good. Shit graphics. We'll stick with that. Brilliant. And it reminds me of something from 1996. It's a Unity-based game. Sounds, yes, technically it had them, including the radio box. So, I'd like to give it 1 chair, but I'm not going to give it 1 lawn chair, just because it had a really super sweet intro and business on that. So 2 chairs for me. Piss off.
This game looks like the inside of my ass. In that you can sort of make out some shapes once you get in there, but it's pretty dark and unnavigatable. I thought I too actually like the initial film noir aesthetic that they were going to go with, but it doesn't really translate that well in the gameplay. It's very hard to see in this game, even with the flashlight. It's just really difficult to navigate because you can't see where you're going half the time. Maybe if they worked on the lighting a bit, maybe if they improved some of the definition. It was actually really choppy on my Steam box. That was another thing. The graphics weren't that great.
Which one?
Well, the TV, the one hooked up to the big TV.
Mm.
So it was looking like crap on the AMD box where I do all my initial stuff. I do the research. Just
and that's not a low-powered box.
Yeah, it's not a low-powered box. It's middle. It's a upper middle class box. But yeah, so I decided to go test it out on my NVIDIA box, see if that was any different. No, it's not. It looks unplayable. I will give it that I like the visual aesthetic. The jazz was kind of nice at first until it kind of got into the game and the audio got glitchy for me. So
even with the audio, you realize
you get an F for effort. I'll give you 2 chairs on this.
2 chairs.
2 chairs.
That's all you give.
That's all I give.
Mm.
At best.
Bring the rage.
Best. Portuguese.
Yeah, no, I'm going to save the rage for the last 2 categories. Now I will say this. The graphics and the sounds for the type of game that they were aiming for, they work. It would have been a lot better if it was in first person, which the game actually starts in first person in the tutorial. You get to see yourself in first person and you're like, oh, okay, it's going to be a first person. Oh, no, wait, no, never mind. So, yeah. If it wasn't in first person, I would have given this the perfect score right here, because the Linux world needs something along the lines of Thief, deadly shadows. First-person
Pedro,
stealth them up.
unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to tell you that one of the control mechanisms is switching from third to first person.
Yeah, but
That you can do anytime.
they could have just stuck with first person and be done with it. And I'll get to the controls in a second, but that's for another, an entirely new category. And so in this one, I'll give it 3 chairs because it works. For the kind of game that it is, the graphics and the sounds sort of work. It would have been perfect if you could have it in first person. You don't, so you don't get 4 chairs.
Total that bitch on.
Oh, well, I gotta really break out the hard math textbook. Needs the linear algebra, needs the advanced calc. 2 chairs. 4 shiny and sounds. Screeching on over to our next category. Controls. And yeah, looking at this one, we all have our little piece. So, Morbo, I'm gonna let you go get started with this.
Well, here's the thing. You start out with the game. Moving from first to third person is absolute shit. That's exactly what it is. Numerous bugs. Is you in third person, then you shoot the first person, then you can't move right at all until you get to a checkpoint. So, my best Morbo impression would be, movement is the key mechanic of the game.
Windmills do not work that way. Good night.
Right. So, that said, yeah, screw you guys. I'm giving you 1 chair. J-Man.
Oh, the controls are absolutely terrible. Again, I'm shocked how they deemed this game actually playable. I didn't even get to the whole switching.
Now, did you try mouse keyboard combo and mouse controller, or just controller?
Mouse keyboard?
All right.
Because I figured it dropped you into like Pedro said, it drops you into a first-person view. So I'm like, okay, it's a first-person shooter or a first-person style game, keyboard and mouse. And the walking is swampy. That's the word I would use to describe it. It's like moving through a marsh.
Where's the run mechanism?
Yeah, where's the run mechanism?
Like a spy would not run or have the ability to.
Oh, no. You walk at a snail's pace, which, I mean, when you're trying to sneak around, you obviously want to move as slow as possible through giant open expanses.
Yes,
but that is how you are stealthy.
You can't run, but you have a radio. You're carrying a radio.
Yes, you carry a radio, or you can stop time, or you can do whatever. The controls are just really terrible. And once you get to that first thing where you have to cut all the wires, and you're switching from third to first person as you're walking past the barriers.
Yeah, you remember that
really
first thing on all pics with the dog with a hat on, going, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm
doing.
Because
I think it would be very beneficial if they'd provided a fucking manual.
Yes, or even a little, here are the controls. Plug, have that.
Even if you click on the give me intrusive points, which is an option.
There are no intrusive points.
There are.
Which did not explain how to hack anything.
Yes. You know what? I just... This game infuriates me. 1 chair.
1 chair?
1 chair.
Chicka-boom.
Pedro.
So, controls. Let me tell you something, developers. I am left-handed. I use the mouse in my left
Tom
hand.
Duchesne.
The T-douche.
The T-douche is
the
also
douche train.
I'm left-handed. I use my gerbil in my left hand. I use my keyboard on my right hand. And I don't know if you've tried in playing with a mouse on your left hand and using WASD to play, but your hands are kind of like doing this all the time.
I thought you just normally used your ginormous Portuguese member to compensate.
His joystick, as it were.
for the sake of this conversation, let's assume I use my hands. So
Alright.
you see these keys around here? They're especially detached for a specific reason. For people who, like me, do not have a perfect hand. Because I was born with a slight birth defect on my right hand. And so I like to use the arrow keys, but because they're conveniently separated from the rest of the fucking keyboard. Okay? So,
Let it all
you
out, Pedro.
douche nozzles have no fucking right of limiting the game to WASD only. If you're going to make that the default, that's your call. Just fucking do it. But let me fucking change it. If you don't let me fucking change it, I'm not going to play your game.
So, I mean...
No.
hang on, shut up. After you're doing PMSing, basically saying they should have control options.
I should have control over the games
If
I'm
we
playing.
condensed your entire PMS session, it would be, let me change keyboard layout.
Pretty much, yeah.
All right, that's all I was asking. Give it the chairs.
One chair.
Ooh.
Yeah,
PMS.
this is not looking good for Private Infiltrator. So control section gets one whole chair. That's not looking too good then. But did you have
good at all.
fun? Was it fun? Did you enjoy yourself?
Now, did we have fun? This is our subjective category. Unfortunately, it's always as a reminder. It's like, oh yes, that category. I was so frustrated by the time I figured out how to marginally understand what the hell was going on, much less how the game was being played. Because where's the manual? Go to the website.
Or manual.
I mean, the WordPress blog that you paid $9 for this game for? Included in the game? Fuck you. That doesn't exist. It's brilliant. So, you gotta rely on this in-game business, and it pretty much said disparaging remarks about my mother. I get the concept. It is, one of the developers is Snake. It's like Solid Snake. That couldn't... It's like Solid Snake that couldn't afford a cardboard box. So, for the fun category, wait for it. Right there. Right chair.
Yep.
I mean, right chair.
Right chair. Well, for me, I'm gonna quote Miss Lana Kane. Give this one a nope. One chair. This game is balls. I would honestly rather have Ben stomp on my balls than play this game. Mind you, I'd rather have Ben stomp on my balls than do a lot of things, so that may not be the best comparison.
But you can buy it right now, Master's Fame, for $9.99.
$9.99. Do not spend $10.
Can you imagine how
go
pissed
buy,
off
like,
you
10
would be
tacos
if you had bought
for
this
the
for
money you would buy
$9.99?
this game for? Go buy 10 tacos.
Fun?
Fun? I didn't play the game. Assuming I couldn't even change the controls to the layout that I need to play the game, I'm not going to play it. And I didn't play it. I didn't even finish the tutorial level. If I could give it 0 chairs, I would. But I can't, so 1.
So, to wrap up our fun section, this gets a big Uno chair. And if we're going to tally everything up, we got 3 chairs, 2 chairs, 1 chair, and 1 chair for the totals. That'll add up to 1 whole chair for this gigantic black turd.
We gotta give
of a
it the
game.
verdict.
Don't play it. Like I said before, you can take this $10, go to your local taco stand,
J-Man,
and buy 10
J-Man,
$1
J-Man,
tacos.
J-Man.
What?
Where can they find the game?
They can find the game. If you want to subject yourself to this, you can find this at espionage noir productions.wordpress.com.
It'll be in the show notes.
Oh yeah, it's in the show notes. I don't know why you would want to play this game. Maybe you're a sadomasochist. Maybe you just like to do the opposite of whatever we tell you. In which case, don't give us all $1,000.
Any
So
final
then,
thoughts on this one?
you think that'll wrap up our review section? Do you have anything to add?
I do.
You have something
I
to
actually do have some final
Fire
thoughts on this.
away, P-Man.
Like I said at the beginning, Linux it's one of those genres that doesn't exist in Linux much is a stealth 'em up. What do I mean by that? This game tried to be one, it failed miserably. There's probably the best example is Thief, Deadly Shadows, or
I'm
Thief
really going to
2,
trip you up right
Metal
here.
Age.
P-Man?
Hmm?
Aren't we grateful for developers bringing things? Maybe they're not the best, but
We are.
other platforms,
Yeah.
the first
We
attempts
are.
were not the best.
Any developer that supports Linux, he has my vote, he has my money if I can spare it. Unfortunately, that doesn't mean that they'll get a pass on shit.
Yeah.
And like I said, the stealth 'em up is a genre that needs a lot more Linux love, and until we can get a decent
I
stealth
think
'em up,
something we can say for Unity on that is if it's shit on Windows, it's good to be shit on Linux.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's basically it. If you guys don't give up yet and you want to do an actual decent stealth 'em up, do it exclusively in first person. Do it properly. Don't go cocking it around with third person to first person to third person to
All
Just
right, that sounds good enough
yeah,
to
that'll wrap up this game review.
Hey,
Private Infiltrator, don't play it.